Welcome back to part 4, and if you've been following along, you know I really need one thing, or one of two things really. Iron ore, or lead ore, and I'm still not sure what this world contains, but let's go find some. Well, look what we have here. It would appear that I have found some better ore, so let's see which one it is. Or not. Gotta fight the zombie. Alright, sorry about that interruption. Let's see again what it is. So it's lead. Alright, well I'm in a lead world, and that means things like iron and gold are gonna be replaced with slightly different ores. So it's one or the other. And in this particular situation I have lead, but again, it's just the same as iron, so if you're in an iron world, just keep in mind, it's the same thing. Your world will just have one of the two different kinds. And so far, I'm not particularly impressed with this world's ore content. There's a bit of copper, as you can see here, but it's very lead poor. I haven't really found much in the way of lead level ore, and I'm really kind of struggling to acquire enough to build an anvil, but I'll keep plugging away, and sooner or later I'll have enough to craft an anvil, and once I have that anvil, I can at least get rid of some of this copper and turn it into something useful, so just bear with me. And so I'm finding my character at the bottom of a deep well I accidentally dug myself into, and I kind of got myself in trouble here by not being more careful about placing torches while I dug down, but the good news is I look up and I see some lead, so I'm definitely gonna find a way to go up and harvest that. And I finally made it up here, and there's a pretty good haul up here, so I'm definitely going to get every last morsel of lead from this little vein of lead ore, I guess you could call it. And that's all there is for there. It's a little disappointing I didn't get more, but so far, how many do I have? Looks like 18, so that's enough for a few bars. I'd like to get a little bit more before going back to smelt it, just because ideally, I would get enough to build a lead sword, because, as I said in the previous video, I always try to prioritize weapons, and, you know, copper is great and all, but if I can go straight from wood to lead, that'll be ideal. So I'm going to try to do that if I can. We'll just have to wait and see. And here's some more down here, as fate would have it. Let's get all of this up. Let's hoover it up rather greedily. We need all we can get. And I guess I might as well continue digging down. Let's see what's down here. Hopefully some more. Oh, looks like another cave system. Alright. Stop digging. Let's see what I can do. Oh, look! Some more lead. I'm glad I went down. Let's go ahead and get that as well. In fact, just to get at it a little easier, I'm just going to dig over sideways so I can dig straight down into it. And I think I may have enough to go back and at least make an anvil. So let's go down and get this lead and maybe take another last look around before deciding what to do. So, you know, sometimes good luck comes in patches and you just have to keep at it and you'll get a lot of ore all at once, really, after maybe going through a long dry spell. Speak of the devil, look at this. This is awesome. I'm definitely going to harvest this. Alright. That should be enough to maybe, hopefully, build something good. But we'll see. Let me go ahead and get it. And then I really don't want to go any further down. Let's just go a little sideways here, just to make extra sure there's not another vein just nearby. I've had such good luck. I don't want to go back to the well one too many times, but hey, worst case scenario, I'll just end up with a lot of stone blocks on in my inventory. So we'll see. Okay, that doesn't look too promising. I'm just going to go back to base. I'll use the little save and exit trick just to get back quicker. I don't have an item that recalls me yet, and I don't have any recall potions in my inventory. So, back to the noob, back to World 3, and let's go back to base. It's daytime outside, so it should be pretty safe to get back to base. No zombies to worry about. And with that said, let's go back and see just how many bars we can smelt here at the furnace. So I'll go ahead and get some copper bars with what I have. I did harvest some copper along the way, so I'm up to 21 copper bars. What about lead? Let's see how many lead bars I can craft. Okay, a total of 12. That's okay. And with that in mind, let's go to the crafting table. And at the very least, it's enough for an anvil. And as I've said before, this anvil shown here, which requires either 5 iron or 5 lead, is really essential. You can't really do without it. There's even an achievement when you build it for the first time. I'll go ahead and put it down in my base. Let's see. Is there a room next to this door? Let's find out. I'll zoom in just a little bit. Okay, there's room to put it right next to the crafting station, which is convenient. Alright, and so now that you have the anvil, you've probably noticed even more options open up here in the crafting menu. I can even build a railroad track if I wanted, but I'm not really inclined to do that. So let's see what I can do. You guys already know what a super fan I am of short swords, right? The terrible weapon I showed you in an earlier video. I am not going to waste my precious lead ore or precious lead bars on a short sword, tempting though it may be to get the lead level weapon. I think because of the ease of use, I'm going to go ahead and upgrade to a copper broadsword. Just to review, the wooden sword I have actually does a pretty good amount of damage, but its knockback is weak. At the very least, I'm going to have the same amount of damage, maybe more with a good modifier. And more importantly, the knockback is more powerful, and so it'll knock things like zombies a little further back. And so that'll keep my character a little bit safer in the event that I'm attacked, which I'm sure I will be. So let's see what I did. Okay, this is just a base level copper broadsword, so no difference in damage done. Let's create some room for it over here. And look at that beauty. That's definitely an upgrade from wood to copper. It may not be a lead broadsword, but you know what? I'll appreciate that extra knockback if and when the time comes that I have to do some combat. So what can we still build? I'm down to 13 copper bars, down to 7 lead bars. I can build a fancy door, but I'm not going to waste my lead at this point building a lead door. I could get a bucket, but I'm not really keen on that either. And so what I might actually do is just save what I have for now, because if anything, with the copper, I'll probably want to build some copper armor. And with the lead, I'll want to build a lead broadsword. So that's really it for now in terms of crafting. I really don't want to waste the ore that I have right now. So I guess there's nothing to do but to continue the adventure. And just to take stock of where I am, I still only have 11 silver. And to get the merchant, I'll need 50 silver. So I've got a ways to go. And it's going to take a little while, but let's get to it. It looks like I may have run by some lead earlier, so I'm going to backtrack here. And at the risk of looking like a fool and falling down, I'm going to try to dig down to it, because at this juncture I need to be pretty greedy about what lead I get. Basically, any lead I see, I need to go and make a beeline for it, just because I'm so desperate for a better weapon. And so if this is lead down here, let's find out. Zoom in. Lead, okay, and it looks like lead over here too. So let's go ahead and harvest that. Again, I really need it at this point. It's amazing what a difference a lead weapon can do at this early stage in the game. It's just so much better. Let's zoom back out. It's just so much better, guys. And, you know, you already see going from wood to copper, although because of modifiers, the damage didn't change. That knockback is pretty darn critical. And so if you have a lead one, you can imagine even better knockback, even better damage. It really adds up quickly, and you start to feel a little more protected, especially at the nighttime when these zombies come, because as you saw from the earlier combat with those zombies, this wooden weapon that I had been using really is inadequate. It's not up to the task. And so that is why I always prioritize weapons. Anyway, let's keep digging, let's keep looking for some lead ore and see if fortune smiles on us. Well, what we found here is a chest, so let's see if there's anything good in the chest. One can live in hope. Alright, this little thing here, a radar, is useful in later crafting when you combine it with other things. Just make sure not to run out of breath. Anyway, back to that chest. The radar, It detects enemies around you. It's not really something I really need, but I'll go ahead and loot that along with everything else. It's nice that there's some copper there. I'll certainly be using that when it comes to crafting some armor, so that's good. And over here are some more of those crimson altars. It's just a little strange, but you know, add some color to the world, I suppose. I'm not going to smash them. You may notice that while I'm standing over them, the default additional item there on the left below the sword is the hammer. And if I'm recalling correctly, I haven't done this since I was a really new player. If you hit them with a hammer that's not a certain kind of hammer, you suffer immense damage. So you definitely don't want to hit those things with a hammer. I'm going to want this chest, so I'm going to go ahead and collect the chest. And then, with that done, I want to start looking around, see if I can see anything. So let's go ahead and put a torch down. I am glad I did, because look at that drop. That is not a friendly drop. I kind of want to go down there just to see what's there. Let's see if I can inch out just a little bit. You know what? A better idea might be just to dig down. There we go. That's probably the safer thing to do. And looking down, I see a nice big fat vein of copper ore, and it's not as exciting as, say, something like lead, but again, as I said, I want a lot of ore to build the armor. And it's going to be a while before I acquire enough lead, I think, to build a lead suit of armor. And I really want to get out of this ridiculous looking wooden suit of armor, because it's not very good at all. It's better than nothing, but it's not very good. And the copper ore armor, or the copper bar armor, is going to give me a lot more protection than this pretty dreadful wooden suit of armor I'm wearing right now. And it won't look as bad either. It looks cooler. And so, for reasons both practical and aesthetic, I am going to upgrade. And I'm going to use this ore to do it. So I've done a bit more digging around. I spared you that, but rest assured I was exploring and digging out more caves and planting some torches and basically doing the kind of stuff you already saw me doing. And I'm returning to base. I'm curious how many more bars of copper I got. Okay, so I'm up to 25. Let's see what I can make with 25 copper bars here at the anvil. Alright, one thing to keep in mind, it's not going to be a huge upgrade from copper, or rather from wood to copper, but it is a bit of an upgrade, especially here, an extra defense on the copper chainmail, and so it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and craft that first, since that's really where you'll see the defensive boost. I know it doesn't look as good not to have the whole set, but you have to be fairly practical at this point, and so I'm going to take the copper breastplate and drag it over, and you can see, hopefully, if I zoom in here, that my guy looks a little more stylish now. It's not some ridiculous suit of wooden armor, which is, you know, the weakest armor in the game. It's this copper breastplate, and I think it looks a lot better. It's got that metallic look to it, and, you know, you've seen those large copper veins, so it won't be too much longer. Probably the next video at the beginning, you'll see my guy wearing an entire set of copper armor and hopefully swinging a lead broadsword. I think that's probably a good place to stop. What did we do? Well, we've acquired a chest, which is good to store things in the base. Between now and the next video, I'm going to have probably a chest room in the base where I can deposit my materials. We've upgraded the armor slightly. We're almost at the point where we can craft a lead broadsword, and that's going to be a nice game changer. And hey, you know what? I even have some rope. Must have gotten it from a broken pot or something down in the caves. So these are excellent to have. They'll help exploration a little bit. And you know, sooner or later I'm going to have the 50 silver for the merchant. I'm up to 22, so I've essentially doubled the amount of silver I have. That's always helpful. So we've got an extra house. We already checked that in the previous video. This house over here is destined for the merchant. It's not exactly prime real estate, is it? You got these zombies knocking at the door, but you know, in this hellish world of Terraria, these NPCs will take whatever they can get. And so that's the merchant's house for when he does decide to show up once I have the 50 silver. And I think that's probably where we're going to pick up next time. I'll do some work in the interim so that you don't have to watch all the kind of humdrum digging and slow acquisition of lead and stuff like that. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.